Welcome to A2Council Update, a recap of the Ann Arbor City Council meeting on November 20th, 2023. This meeting included comments and discussion about requiring electrification in new construction, bringing a resolution about a ceasefire in Gaza, opting in on the class settlement of litigation with 3M and DuPont, rezoning properties on the north side, restricting gas-powered leaf blowers and eventually banning them, setting the calendar for council meetings and work sessions for the coming year. This is the voting chart for the council meeting on November 20th, 2023. All agenda items were approved or postponed unanimously. Council members Travis Radina and Dharma Akman were absent. Council member Erica Briggs was 90 minutes late for the meeting and participated in only 2 votes. Ahead of the meeting, Dharma Akman explained that her absence was due to vacation. You can find this voting chart and more information about this meeting at A2Council.com. Like and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. After introductory remarks, public comments, and staff explanations, Council discussed agenda items for about 20 minutes. 19 people signed up in advance to offer public comments. No one spoke to topics on the agenda. 4 people spoke about implementing strategies to require electrification of all new construction.
Stronger action is needed to decisively shift new construction to full electrification. By enacting a moratorium on the use of gas in new multifamily and commercial construction until electrification incentives are in place, we can start on a cleaner path right away. We must discourage the use of natural gas for heating in new development and instead set truly effective and accountable incentives to encourage all electric new construction.
A20 plan assumed that all new residential and commercial buildings would be built to operate without methane. However, since the plan's adoption, the city has approved 27 development projects that use methane for heating, totaling over 2 million square feet. Now, these furnaces will have a useful life of 15 to 20 years or more, making retrofitting really unlikely, and it's also expensive.
And we need to ensure that there are incentive and regulatory structures in place to ensure that no development occurs which uses gas at the expense of our health, when we have the option now to invest in communities with clean, healthy, and long-term economical electric alternatives.
I lead the Building Electrification Action Team for the Ann Arbor chapter of the Citizens Climate Lobby. We are requesting that the city implement a comprehensive set of policies to substantially reduce or preferably end the use of gas in multifamily and commercial new construction. We see evidence that should more obstructive measures be used, developers are not likely to shift development to the townships. The evidence is based not on what developers say, it's based on what they do. All recent approved by right developments heat with natural gas. All recent projects requiring significant zoning changes are all electric. Why is that? Most likely because when the city has leverage, developers plan for all electric. That's not stopping these developers from building in Ann Arbor.
10 people called on council to bring a resolution asking for a ceasefire in Gaza.
I urge members of the Ann Arbor City Council to respond to the calls of its community members and draft a plan calling for immediate ceasefire, as well as put forward a proclamation expressing support and solidarity with the people of Palestine. This is a genocide, and especially as residents of Michigan, which hosts one of the largest Arab American and Muslim populations in the United States, I believe that we have a responsibility, and you especially as Democratic council members have a responsibility to push for ceasefire and divestment and play your part in ensuring the continued survival and flourishing of the Palestinian people.
What side of history will you be on? We have yet to see a resolution be presented before the council. There's no information that the public has been made aware of. No conversations have been made to heal our communities, and we are all hurting. I demand for there to be action taken. I will hold you responsible. And I demand for a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza now.
It's important that you make a stance today and just speak up
The city of Ypsi has done this, so it's kind of crazy that you guys have not, right? I hope that you see everyone here today. You know, it's interesting the response that the members who come talking about the environment get from you guys. But when we talk about human lives, I see people, different responses, different body language. So just be mindful.
So now, I just want to tell you what we need from you. We need to ask for a ceasefire, a resolution for a ceasefire, a resolution for divestment from these war companies. People are dying. Chris, what would you do? I know you guys don't care about our blood. Our blood is cheap to you, like the president of this country said, that they don't believe that there's 12,000 people dead. Chris, what would you do if your kids were dying?
Council responded to these comments.
So I understand the frankness and the pain that you're all sharing here, and we individually here have had conversations within different communities. And I wish we had the power and authority that you think that we have here. We can't even get MDOT to not build fences. Our budget and our authority is squarely within Ann Arbor.
The world is filled with ills and injustices, and our scope here at this table is extremely limited. The scope here at this table, as elected officials as a body, is to conduct the operation of the municipal organization and to lead and hopefully unify a community.
Ann Arbor City Council has, in the past, approved resolutions in response to injustices around the world. In 1986, City Council approved a resolution in response to apartheid in South Africa. In 1996, City Council approved a resolution in response to political violence in Burma. Earlier this month, the City Council of Ypsilanti approved a resolution in support of Palestinians suffering in Gaza. However, it was soon rescinded. The consent agenda this week included 14 items and expenditures of over $13 million. One item on the consent agenda was pulled for discussion. CA8 was a resolution for the city to opt in to a class settlement of litigation with 3M and DuPont, who are responsible for PFAS contamination of local water resources. Council made remarks in support of the resolution for about 3 minutes.
I just wanted to make sure this is exciting. It represents a step forward in our ability to receive financial compensation for the expenses that we've had in dealing with PFAS.
The resolution was approved unanimously. No one spoke at a public hearing for the rezoning of parcels on Traver Road from township to public land. These parcels are owned by the city and were recently annexed. They will become part of a natural wildlife area adjacent to Leslie Park Golf Course. After a brief introduction, the rezoning was approved unanimously. Council then considered a rezoning of parcels on Pontiac Trail from township to R4A, multiple family dwelling district. This rezoning will permit an additional 120 housing units as part of the Village of Ann Arbor site plan. Council expressed support for approximately 3 minutes.
This housing is not designed with solely with 6-bedroom unit counts with students in mind. There are a number of 1 and 2 bedroom options in this housing, and which will make it relatively affordable compared to downtown housing. So I am happy about this development.
We also have a couple roundabouts in the area in anticipation of development exactly like this, where we can welcome more residents of different incomes. And I'm really excited this is something that would appeal to new and young families.
The rezoning was approved unanimously at first reading. At a future meeting, the rezoning will be the subject of a public hearing and final approval at second reading. After approval of C1, Councilmember Briggs appeared at the meeting, 90 minutes late. Council then considered a new ordinance that anticipates a ban on gas-powered leaf blowers and regulates the hours when any leaf blower may be used. Council discussed the ordinance for about 12 minutes.
There's over 100 cities and towns across the country that have banned or restricted the use of gas-powered leaf blowers, and I'm excited to see Ann Arbor consider doing it the same tonight. To clarify what the ordinance is that gas leaf blowers would be banned in the city in a phased-in approach. A lot of people are very frustrated by the sound that gas leaf blowers made. So there's a lot of benefits to this.
In 2019, a previous city council banned the use of two-stroke engine equipment, including gas-powered leaf blowers, in the downtown district. It was explained at the time.
The concerns of it costing more for businesses to purchase new equipment, or it costing more for labor, or it costing, well, I think all we're doing is applying the actual costs to what was otherwise subsidized at the cost of our environment and such. So all these externalities are now being realized. So this is, we're no longer allowing them to dump into the air essentially for free. And hopefully, by doing this, it sets an example, and the city will take part in it, and the U of M has been notified, and will hopefully cooperate with it as well. And like I said earlier, that other communities will adopt similar measures.
This week's proposed ordinance prompted discussion of amendments.
I have some concerns with the equity impact, specifically on low-income, fixed-income residents, small business owners, especially minority-owned business owners. Some of these amendments would include having a progressive fining instead of it just being $500 automatically, maybe being $50 to $100 to $250. I just think that fine is way too high. And also, if the point is to have people use, electric leaf blowers, which are more expensive, taking money away from them is not going to help them purchase these. I also believe that the currently proposed times in this ordinance are too restricted and overlap with work hours, both 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends. I think we need to look at that a little bit more. People do work on the weekends. So ultimately, I'm hoping that these amendments are currently not ready, and the attorney's office needs to sign off on them.
There is a discrepancy in operation hours for gas leaf blowers compared to our existing noise ordinance. And I believe this misalignment will likely lead to confusion and also non-compliance as a result. The limited hours permitted for using gas leaf blowers are insufficient for homeowners to maintain their properties, directly impacting their day-to-day activities. I do believe that there, maybe if there had been some public input, I guess, or weigh-in on this, a key aspect in ensuring its fairness and effectiveness, these issues would not exist.
When a previous council considered regulation of this equipment in 2019, there was outreach and engagement with downtown merchants to understand its potential impact. This week, council unanimously approved a postponement of the leaf blower ban in order to consider amendments and consult with city attorneys. Finally, council considered a calendar of meetings for 2024. This calendar clarifies council commitments for the coming year and allows council members to anticipate personal schedules around these responsibilities. 1 year ago, the current council unanimously approved a calendar for 2023. In the 12 months since approving that calendar, there have been 34 council absences. The council calendar for 2024 was approved unanimously. After voting on all of the agenda, City Council went into closed session for nearly 2 hours to discuss a confidential legal memo. The meeting adjourned at approximately 10:40 p.m. For more details about this meeting, visit A2Council.com.
Welcome to this week's A2Council Moment of Zen.
Further discussion of the postponement. Roll call vote, please, starting with Councilmember Cornell.
Yes. Oh, is that on the?
No, you gotta wait. You wait. One waits to be called.
On the postponement.
On the postponement.
Councilmember Cornell?
Yes.